This is a story that took place, it's a true story that I lived through in the old days in the Yukon during the gold mining days. Oh, there are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who toil for gold. And the Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen strange sights, but the strangest they ever did see was the night on the marge of Lake LaBarge when I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the South to roam around the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, and the land of gold seemed to grip him in its spell. And I've heard him say in his humble way that he'd sooner have lived in hell. On a Christmas day, we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk of you cold through the Parker's fold, it stabbed like a driven nail. If our eyes would close and the lashes froze, and sometimes we couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. That very night as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed and the stars overhead were dancing heel and toe, he turns to me and, Cap, says he, I'll cash in this trip, I guess. But if I do, I'll ask that you won't refuse my last request. Well, he seemed so low that I couldn't say no, and he said with a sort of a moan, it's the cursed cold and it's got me whole till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. But 'tain't being dead I fear and dread, it's the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains. Now a pal's last need is a thing to heed, and I swore I would not fail. So we started on at the crack of dawn, but God, he was ghastly pale. He crouched on the sleigh and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. And before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. Oh, there wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, you can tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true, so it's up to you to cremate my last remains. Now a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. So on I went, though the dogs were spent and the grubs was getting low. The trail was bad and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in. And sometimes I'd sing to the cursed thing, and it hearkened back with a grin. Then I came to the marge of Lake LaBarge, and there a derelict lay. It was jammed in the ice, and I saw in a trice it was called the Alice May. And I looked at it, and I thought a bit, and I said to my frozen chum, I rose with a cry and said, there's my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. The furnace roared and the flames they soared, such a fire you never did see. Then I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I took me a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. And the heavens scowl, and the huskies howl, and the winds began to blow. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out and they danced about before I ventured near. I was filled with dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peek inside. I know he's cooked, and it's time I looked, and I opened the door wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar, and he said with a smile you could see a mile, Would you please close that damn door? It's warm in here, and I greatly fear you let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plum Tree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm.